Everyone utilizes essential support strategies throughout their day. As a parent or family member, there are a number of strategies you can implement to help students with ASD be successful and avoid frustration. Our topic for today is an overview of different priming strategies that can be used at home or in the community. There are many ways that we are primed every day, like getting the weather forecast or reviewing our schedule for the day. Think about planning a trip to the beach. You may check out different websites to see what the hotels look like in advance before making a reservation, or searching for different restaurants in the area to view the menu before deciding where to dine. Priming is exposure to information or activities that an individual is likely to have difficulty with. Priming ensures predictability. Priming could be reviewing the schedule ahead of time or letting the individual know in advance if something is changing or will be different than the norm. When should you use priming? All the time. It's most effective when built into the individual's daily routine, and it can be used at home, school, and in the community. Here are some specific examples of how you can use these strategies at home. You could prime the individual daily by reviewing their visual support. And visual supports could be different schedules, pictures, or their reinforcement chart. You could use social narratives. Social narratives describe social situations in detail by highlighting important cues and offers examples of appropriate ways to respond. You could write a social story on any topic or situation the individual may have a difficult time with. Some examples would be preparing for a new babysitter or sibling, going to a birthday party, or another loud event with a lot of people. And you could also use video priming. And video priming uses short videos to show the individual what to expect when going to a new environment. Some examples would be going to a new school, museum, or store. And before going out to video this new environment, always look on YouTube because someone else may have done the work for you. These are some other strategies that you can use. You could use a monthly schedule for an individual who has difficulty transitioning back to school on Mondays or after holiday breaks. Parents can review the schedule every evening and the following morning to prepare him or her for the day on whether or not they have school or not. If you know the individual will have a difficult time during an appointment, you can create a schedule breaking down the steps to help them understand what to expect before it actually happens. Here's an example of a schedule for a dental cleaning. You could prime the individual weeks before the actual appointment. You could also use this idea for getting their haircut, vaccinations, blood drawn, x-rays, etc. You want to let the individual know what's going to happen next. For example, after you finish your breakfast, it's time to get dressed. Or in 5 minutes, it's time to turn off the TV and start cleaning your room. For some individuals, it is helpful to set a timer so he or she can keep track of how much time is left. But for some, you may need to remind them when the time is winding down. For example, you have 2 minutes left, you have 1 minute left, you have 30 seconds left, etc. You want to remind the individual daily about any upcoming assessments. And you want to do this for 2 reasons. 1, schedule changes, and 2, if they have any test anxiety. You especially want to do this during statewide testing because schedules will be different each day the test is administered. Schools do a great job preparing them for the week, but you want to do your part on the weekend before testing. You could ask the individual's teacher if they could send you the schedule for each day ahead of time so you can help prime your child each morning before going to school that week. Here's an example of a social story that I mentioned earlier. Most individuals with ASD thrive with highly structured routines, and they need routines to help make sense of their world. If an individual is having a difficult time adjusting to summer vacation, since it's not as structured as school, you could review a social story and their new summer schedule every day to help him or her prepare for the day. You could use this visual of a 5-point scale to help the individual understand the different levels of their voice in different environments. So before going to a designated place, you would prime the individual on the level they should remain at. For example, going to the library would be a 2, whereas going to a park would be a 4. You could also prime them on different situations when they should use a level 5 voice. If you have an upcoming vacation, you could find pictures online and use them as talking points, explaining to the individual what to expect on the trip. For example, if your family is going to Disney, you can talk about the different theme parks, characters, places to eat, the hotel you're going to stay at, transportation from your house to Orlando, and then how the monorail works to and from the different parks. And you can use that same idea to help prepare your child for any upcoming field trips at school or summer camps. You want to talk about transportation, what and where he or she will eat for lunch, behavior expectations on the field trip, and then again show pictures of the place they are going and discuss any questions or concerns the individual may have regarding their trip away from school. When completing homework, you may have to review important concepts before actually attempting the homework with the individual. And this is just an example of reminding your child of different keywords to look for when completing addition word problems. Many students with autism rely on rules and expectations to keep their environment predictable and therefore feel safer. So just think, how can you incorporate rules or expectations around your house? Maybe creating safety rules or expectations at the dinner table. Here's an example of homework expectations to help the individual know how he or she is expected to complete their homework before earning time on the iPad. And collaboration is key. You want to collaborate with the individual's teacher as often as possible to help plan the different priming strategies. They can also help you create some of the individualized supports you think the individual may benefit from. You also want the implementation of these strategies to be consistent across environments and between educators and family members. If you would like more information, check out our website. We have a strategy guide on the different essential support strategies, and it also gives you some strategies that you can use at home. And then we have a video of effective practices of a social story on preparing for a new baby. And here's our email address if you have any other questions or concerns. Thank you.